sit down comfortably on your mat, and I wanted to talk to you about a breath technique that we have done in the past, but maybe not everybody's worked this breath technique. It's the Ujjayi breath, and the Ujjayi breath is a both energizing and relaxing breath. So it's quite nice. It can be done at any time. So it soothes the parasympathetic nervous system, but doesn't tranquilize you. So it's a really lovely breath technique, and it's actually a sound, okay? And this Ujjayi breath is also known as the victorious breath and the ocean breath. And it's kind of like a squeeze on the back of the throat, so it's quite hard to describe, but you switch on your whispering muscles, and I'll just demonstrate one way of how you can feel this activity in the throat. If you put your hand up like this and blow on it as if you were trying to fog up a mirror, it would be and that ha sound is what we make, but with the lips closed, okay? So you can have a go, first of all, just making that. And then the inhale is the same actually, but you draw the breath back, so you can hear yourself. It actually sounds a little bit like an ocean wave breaking on the shore as well, so that's where it gets its name from, the ocean breath. But we do it with the lips closed. So what we're doing is we're partially closing the glottis at the back of the throat. Also, it might sound a bit like Darth Vader when you breathe in and out. Okay, so it can take a little bit of practice, and there should be no strain with this breath technique. So usually when we're working breath techniques, sometimes when we first try them, we kind of over-exaggerate, and certainly when I'm demonstrating, I'm over-exaggerating. But it is a sound, and if someone was sitting next to you practicing the Ujjayi breath, you'd be able to hear them and they'd be able to hear you, but not necessarily you'd be able to hear someone that was on the other side of the room. So we're going to practice this Ujjayi breath throughout the class today, and we're going to link it with that wave-like breath movement that we worked with last week when we were lying down, okay? So we're going to start lying down, and don't worry, I'll talk you through this as we go along. So when you lie down, come to a comfortable bent-legged position. Feet flat on the floor, arms down by the side of the body. And just allow the spine, first of all, to settle down. Allow the body to soften and settle. So it's always worth tracking the mind around the body just to explore where you feel tension. So maybe the shoulders can release a little bit further back and down. Maybe you can soften and relax the belly. And relax the facial muscles. Gently close the eyes if that feels comfortable to you. And just start to focus your awareness on your breathing. So this is your natural breath, your soft, smooth inhale and your soft, smooth exhale. And then we're going to think about the inhale first of all, and drawing that inhale all the way down into the abdominal space. So as you breathe in, you feel the belly gently rising. And as you breathe out, you feel the belly gently releasing back down towards the floor. So just explore this abdominal breathing and start to notice any movement that you feel around the pelvis and the spine, all led by this inhale drawing all the way down into the belly. So it's the beginning of that wave-like breath that moves through the torso, affecting the spine and the pelvis. Now you can either stay working with the abdominal space, or you can deepen the inhale further by drawing that inhale not only down into the belly, but up into the rib cage, the midsection. And as you exhale, exhale from the abdominal space first of all, and then allow the ribs to soften back. So don't rush to meet with my instruction, just explore your own breath and the connection with this deep inhale and the movement of the spine, this wave-like movement. And it might be that you're happy working just as you are. Or you might like to deepen the inhale further and take the breath all the way into the upper chest. So as you breathe in to the abdominal space, then the midsection, and then feel the upper chest lift. Just notice the movement of the spine and this wave-like movement of the breath. So try and keep the breath as smooth as possible. And then we can think about applying the sound, the Ujjayi breath, to this breath technique. So as you breathe in, you start to draw the breath in, down into the body, but you feel as though you've switched on those whispering muscles at the very back of the throat. And hear that drawing in. It's almost like a baby snore. And you make that same sound on the exhale. So don't worry if you're confused and you've got the hang of one part of the breath and not the other. Just explore where you're at. But with our Ujjayi breath, we're using sound to help us focus on our breathing and link to that physical sensation of the wave-like breath traveling through the torso. And we'll come back to this breath throughout the class. Just now let go of any controlled breathing that you may have and allow your breath to turn back to its natural rhythm. And we'll start to move the body by turning the palms face down. Have the hands fairly close towards the sides of the body, palms face down, and pin the fronts of the shoulders back and down as well. We're going to lift up into bridge pose from here. So the soles of the feet should be about hip width apart, okay? The feet are drawn in quite close, okay? And just have a sense that you can feel the whole of the sole of the feet into the floor. Then, as you breathe in, push down through the soles of the feet and the arms and the palms and begin to gently lift off the buttocks. And then as you breathe out, simply relax the back of the body down. And we're going to do that 2 more times with the breath. So breathing in, lifting the pelvis, the belly, the hips off the floor, rolling the weight up. And as you breathe out, allow the back of the waist to connect with the floor. One more time, breathing in, pushing down through the soles of the feet. Use the thigh muscles and the buttocks to help you lift up. Relax the throat and the neck. And then as you exhale, release the back body down. Just allow the spine, the pelvis to find its neutral alignment and bring the feet closer together. Turn the palms face up and allow both knees to drift out in opposite directions. So you come into bound angle pose. Now this might feel a little bit uncomfortable at the beginning of the class, and you can make 2 fists and tap them into the outside edges of the hips there. That might help give them a little bit of support as you begin to explore releasing in the inner groins and the outer hips. And it could be that you don't need these hands, these fists here for very long before you can release the thighs. But we can also use the breath again. So think about that Ujjayi breath and that wave-like breath. And here, as you breathe in, send the breath all the way down into the belly, creating that Ujjayi sound. And as you breathe out, see if you can relax and release in and around the hips and inner groins. 2 more wave-like breaths, adding the Ujjayi breath. And when you finish those 3 breaths, turn the palms down and bring those knees back to center. Just separate the feet so they're hip width apart. And we're going to lift up into that bridge pose again, but this time we're going to add the arms as well. We're going to take 1 arm at a time. Okay, so I'll demonstrate for you as well if you're not sure. As you breathe in, you're going to lift the hips off and raise up the right arm till it goes to the floor behind you. And then as you breathe out, you take the arm and send it back down by the side of the body, and it should touch down at the same time as the back of the waist. And then we'll go to the other arm. So breathe in, push through the soles of the feet, lift the belly off the floor, rise that left arm up and beyond the head to the floor behind you. And as you breathe out, lower the arm down. Now the third time, we're going to take both arms at the same time, or you can continue working 1 arm at a time. So you can breathe in, send the arms at the same time up and over. And then when you're ready to breathe out, those arms come all the way down. We'll do 2 of these so that if you're working 1 arm at a time, you can do both arms. So breathing in, bring the arms up. And breathing out, bringing the arms down. This time we're going to come up 1 more time. You can either leave the arms down where they are, or if it's comfortable for you, bring the arms up above the head. We're going to hold it for 3 breaths. When you're holding this, okay, when you're up, try not to move the head and neck. So I know there'll be an inclination to look at the screen, but I want you to keep your head and neck safe by keeping it just where it is, okay? So as you breathe in, you're either going to leave the arms down by the side, or if it feels right for you, you can bring both arms up beyond the head. We're holding this here for 3 breaths. So think about powering down into the inside edges of the feet. Maybe you're rocking onto the outside edges. Use the thigh muscles and the buttocks, and you're encouraging now the chest, the sternum towards the chin. 3 breaths, and then as you exhale, lower the arms down if you're using the arms, and rest the pelvis back down again. We'll come back into that Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Bring the feet together. Turn the palms up. As you exhale, release those knees. And again, 3 breaths, wave-like breaths down into the belly. Feeling the spine moving and applying that Ujjayi breath. Don't worry if you're still feeling tight or tense around the inner groins and the outer hips. We'll explore releasing these hips throughout the class today. Next, inhale, bring those knees back to center, turn the palms down and separate the feet again to about hip width apart. Now we're going to keep these arms down by the sides of the body just where they are, okay, but we'll bring our awareness into our right leg, and on our exhale we're going to draw the right thigh and knee into the chest, okay. Keep pinning the shoulders back, okay, and have a sense that you can feel the tailbone and the back of the waist firmly into the floor as well. And then draw the toes back on that right leg, right foot. We're going to place the outside edge of this right foot on top of the right thigh, okay, so just see what you have. If you allow the knee to drop out first of all before you do that, it gets the hip in that rotation in the right position. Placing that right ankle on top of the left thigh somewhere. Now this is that right angle that I always go on about in class. You're trying to maintain that shape of the top of the foot and the shin as you place it over the knee, okay? Because that's going to protect that working bent knee that you've got there. So try and keep that right angle with the top of the right foot and right shin there. Now here we're working the outer hip on this right side. So you're sending this right knee away, okay? You might feel a squeeze on this outer hip. Try and stay grounded through the supporting leg and foot there, okay? Relax the shoulders back. And now you can either stay here working this right knee away from the body, okay? Or see what it feels like when you just lift the heel off first of all, off that left foot, okay? So we come onto the ball of the left foot. You might feel a deeper squeeze. Now, once again, you could either stay here or it might be available to you to lift off that left foot altogether, but you're still sending this right knee away. That's your priority, okay? Trying to maintain this shape with that right leg. So if you've drawn that thigh, that left thigh closer in, okay, draw in the belly as well. So it's going to start to switch on your abdominal muscles here, okay? Keep squeezing that thigh in, keep sending this knee away. You can relax that foot down whenever you need to, okay? This is quite strong if we hold it here for quite some time. And we can go a little bit further as well, but only if you've got this right foot somewhere on the thigh and not on that left knee. If that left kneecap is free, you might be able to send that left foot up to the ceiling and draw the toes back. But you don't want to be putting any pressure on the kneecap, okay? So it really does depend where your ankle is resting, okay? Again, this is working the abdominal muscles, but our priority in this posture is sending this knee away. So if you've got your foot on the floor, that left foot down, you're still doing quality work, okay? Well done. And then we're going to lower that left foot down. Sole of the left foot touches the floor. But we're going to keep this leg just where it is for a little bit longer. Bring the arms out to shoulder height, palms face up, and relax the shoulders. Okay, just relax. We're going to come into a twist. And we're going to twist the lower part of the body over to the left, okay? So the sole of this right foot is going to be heading towards the floor on the left. But this time we are going to keep the legs nice and soft, okay? Sometimes we work this a little bit stronger, but we're going to keep it nice and soft. So as you draw those legs over to the left, okay, just let the knees and the feet find a comfortable position. And you want to find a sense of softness here. So again, you go from holding the position to then seeing if you can soften and relax into this position. Now, if you're comfortable here, okay, you might want to take that left palm and rest it on top of that right knee. Just, it gives it a connection there, and maybe a little bit of a draw, a deeper draw. Also, if your head and neck feels comfortable, you might want to deepen this posture by turning the face to the opposite direction of those legs, so over to the right. Well done. And remember, you can come out of these postures whenever you need to, and usually an indication of that is when you start to feel activity begin to switch back on. Okay, we're going to come up out of this, so release the knee with the hand if you've created that bind there, bring the head back to centre. You could turn the palms down here, and that might help with the inhale to stabilise you to bring those legs back up again. Now just keep that leg on top of the left thigh for a little bit longer. Bring the arms closer in towards the body, palms face down. Okay, now we're going to release this right leg. Okay, so lift it off and draw the thigh back in towards the body just as we started. So you're bringing the shin and the knee and the thigh back into alignment. And we're going to create a cycling action. Okay, so send that right sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, opening up the back of the leg. And then send the heel away to the wall opposite, keeping that leg nice and long. Just before it gets down towards the floor, point the toe, fold that knee back in again, draw the toes back, and then 2 more times. So nice slow cycling actions with that leg. Well done. And when you've finished 3 of those, I want you to fold that leg in, place the sole of the foot on the floor, and turn the palms face up for a moment. Feet are hip width apart. Just soften the body and just feel that wave-like breath all the way down into the belly. We're going to come up into bridge pose one more time. Turn the palms down. Breathe in and lift up. And as you breathe out, release down. Turn the palms face up, bring the soles of the feet together, and as you exhale, let those knees drift out again. And then soften. Use that Ujjayi breath. Feel the breath all the way down into the belly, and that inhale continuing to travel up the front body. And when you finish 3 breaths, taking your time, turn the palms down and bring those knees back together again. And just separate the feet once more so they're hip width apart and the back body feels nice and comfortable. And we're going to go over to the left side of the body with that hip sequence. Okay, so as you breathe out, this time draw in that left thigh, relax the fronts of the shoulders back and draw in the belly. Feel how much of the spine is in contact with the floor when you draw that thigh in. Feel the tailbone lengthen. Draw the toes back on that left leg and allow that knee to drift out so you feel a rotation in the hip. And then see what's available to you. You're planting that left outside ankle somewhere on top of that right thigh, okay? And your safety pointer here is keeping that right angle with the top of the foot and the shin so that you don't sickle or put any pressure on the ankle and the knee. So here your priority now is your left outer hip. You're sending that left knee away from the body, okay? And this is your priority pretty much throughout this sequence, okay? You can draw in the belly, okay? That starts to activate the abdominal muscles. Now you can either stay just here, just where you are, or you might want to come up by lifting that supporting foot heel off the floor, and that might be just enough to intensify the stretch on that outer hip. Or it could be that you might want to draw that right thigh in, okay, so you're intensifying that squeeze on that left outer hip. Keep these abdominal muscles activated. And it could be that you want to stay just here, but if this this left ankle is somewhere on the thigh and not on the knee, you might be able to straighten up and draw the toes back on that right leg. And keep going back to those pointers, sending that left knee away, making sure that the ankle is at that right angle. Relaxing the shoulders back. Well done. Then lower that foot down if it's raised. But we're keeping that left leg just where it is. We're going to come into that twist. So we're going to bring the arms out to the sides. Okay, palms face up. Now this time we lead the legs over to the right. Okay, so nice and slowly. And we're softening the lower body so it finds a comfortable position. Maybe it's not comfortable at all for you. Use the breath to send that softening exhale in the direction where you feel that tension. And it can take a while. If you found yourself in a comfortable position, you can fold up that right hand so the palm rests on top of that left outer knee. If your head and neck feel comfortable, you can slowly turn the head and the neck to the opposite direction. Okay, we unfold as we came in. So if you turned your head, bring that back to center. Release the hand from the knee. We can turn the palms down because then we can just use the floor here to help us bring those knees back up. We're maintaining that shape with the lower legs though, okay? So bring the hands closer in towards the body, palms face down. And then we're going to release that left leg from that right thigh, but draw that left thigh in towards the body, toes draw back, good. Feel again the tailbone into the floor, the abdominal muscles drawn back, that squeeze in of that thigh. And then we send the sole of that foot up towards the ceiling, opening up the back of the leg, and then stretching that leg out long. Before it touches the floor, point the toe, fold the knee in. 2 more times, nice and slowly. Well done, everybody. And when you finish that third cycling action, place the sole of the foot on the floor, feet hip distance apart. Just relax the back body, relax the shoulders. And we'll take one more bridge pose, okay? I'm just going to turn my head so that I can see you, okay? So that I can see everybody doing their bridge pose. Take your breath in and lift the hips off the floor. Well done. Keep firming down into the inside edges of the feet. And as you breathe out, gently allow the back of the waist to relax down. One more Baddha Konasana. So bring the feet a little bit closer together, the soles of the feet together, palms turned face up, knees fall out in opposite directions. 3 gentle wave-like breaths all the way down into the belly. And see if you can apply that Ujjayi breath, the sound of the ocean, to this wave of movement. Okay, turn the palms face down, breathe in to bring those knees back to center. We're going to bring both knees into the chest, but maybe you'd like to do this one leg at a time, just to ease out. You can bring the hand around the top of the shin, then bring in the other knee, and just gently draw the thighs in, relax the shoulders, feel the whole of the back of the spine in the floor, and gently rock from side to side. Well done. Now when we roll over, we're going to make our way all the way over onto the front body, onto the belly, okay? So taking your time, okay, rolling over and just organising yourself so that you come all the way down onto the front body. You can bring your hands forward and have the legs as wide as feel comfortable for you. Now I think this is very individual, depending on how your hips are and how your lower back is. Have the legs where you feel that they feel right for you. You can rest the forehead on the back of the wrists and just allow the body to soften and settle here. Notice your breath. As you breathe in, you'll feel the belly being pushed into the floor or the mat. And you might even notice as you continue that inhale, the breath moves naturally to the back body. But you might feel something different, so just explore what happens to the breath and where you feel it. Just gently rock the hips from side to side. Nice and loose, buttocks soft. And then come to a still point. We're going to lengthen out the legs. So bring your awareness into your right leg and just lift the whole of the right leg straight off the floor, just a few centimetres. Lengthen it away as if I'm in the room, pulling the leg to the wall opposite, and then allow that leg to rest down. And then do the same with the other leg. Lift up, lengthen away, and rest down. So you really feel that length coming from the hip flexor when you do that. And soften again. Now we're going to come up into Sphinx pose from here. So as you breathe in, you're going to bring the hands, the forearms, onto the mat. Fingers nice and wide. Now, depending on how you're feeling with your lower back, you can have these arms fairly sent forward, or you can have them a little bit closer in. Okay. So the elbows are on the floor, the forearms on the floor, and the fingers are spread nice and wide. Just think about the shoulders first of all. Just notice if you are sinking into the shoulders. We want to lift the chest out of the shoulder girdle and draw those shoulders back and down, okay? Now, just notice where you feel this in the spine as well. So we can explore this, okay, and shift where we feel it. We don't want to feel when we're doing our back bends that we are curling or crushing down in the lower lumbar, okay? So that might be where you're feeling it now. Now there's a few things you can do. You want to lengthen the front body, push the pubic bone into the floor, draw the belly to the back of the waist, but then lift the chest as if you are extending the chest upward, okay? You might feel as you do that the shoulder blades draw in a little bit closer. Okay, so you're sending that back bend a little bit further up the spine. Now we've been holding this for a little bit long already, so we'll just give ourselves a break. We'll slide the elbows out in opposite directions, lengthen the front body forward and down, and rest the forehead onto the hands. And soften and breathe in to the back body. And we'll come up again in that Sphinx pose, okay? So breathe in, lift the head and chest, and organise the arms so that the forearms are, you're kind of like creating a square in front of you. So the elbows are quite close in, almost as if they're underneath or in line with the width of the shoulders, okay? And then you think about the shoulders drawing back and down. So the chest, the neck, the ears are proud of the shoulders. And then think about the pubic bone pushing into the mat, drawing the belly back and lengthening the front body so that you feel the back bend maybe a little bit higher up in the mid-spine. Good. Now as we're here, you keep your eye gaze ahead, nice and soft, hazy gaze, but bring your awareness into your right leg, okay? And you're just going to bend at the knee and lift that foot up, okay? So you've just straightened up the shin. Good. And then just flex the ankle. And then you kind of track into the back of the thigh muscle and just see if you can squeeze the heel a little bit closer to the buttock. It'll lengthen down the front of the thigh, but also it'll activate the muscle at the back of the thigh as well. So keep trying to squeeze with the muscle that heel closer to the buttock. Good. And then gently release that leg. Then just revisit your upper body. Just notice if anything's sunk down or release. See if you can re-energize the pose in the upper body. And then lift up the opposite foot, folding at the knee then, and then draw the toes back. And then see if you can switch on again that thigh muscle at the back and lengthening the front of the muscle. Well done. Remember, you can come out of these postures whenever you need to. Release the leg, slide the elbows out the way and take a rest again, okay? So the hands resting one on top of the other, forehead down. Take the breath into the back body. Okay, coming up a little bit higher, working a little bit deeper into Cobra pose. So this time, we bring the hands closer in. Okay, so my hands can come sort of the fingertips in line with the fronts of the shoulders, but you might want to bring your hands a little bit more forward. You come onto the bridge of the nose and the forehead just to lengthen the back of the neck for the moment. Your elbows are drawn in, okay? It's almost as if the inside of those arms are hugging the sides of the torso. Your priority is having those shoulders back and down. We're going to use the breath and work dynamically 3 times to raise the chest up, but we're not allowing the shoulders to move, okay? And we're not pushing down into the hands, okay? So we breathe in and lift the head and chest up. Just notice which parts of the body want to get involved, and as you breathe out, and lower the forehead down, tuck the chin in, rest on the bridge of the nose and the forehead. 2 more times. Breath in. And breath out. Now just release the arms down by the side of the body this time, and if you're comfortable with your neck, just turn and rest on one side of the face. And that just allows the shoulders to release towards the floor, and you can take a nice resting breath in and out. And then just turn the head to the opposite direction. Gently turning the face to the other way, even stretch. Keep focusing on that breath, the belly pushing into the floor and the breath then coming into the back body. Okay, we're going to re-establish that cobra pose and we're going to hold it for 3 breaths, okay? Coming onto the bridge of the nose and the forehead and bringing those hands back in place by the side of the body. Elbows drawn in, shoulders drawn back. Take a breath in, lift the head and chest. And then see if you can come up a little bit higher, by this time pushing into the hands, okay? You've still got your elbows bent, you're still drawing those shoulders back, okay? You're seeing if you can hold this for 3 to 6 breaths, whatever's available to you. Okay, think about those bellies drawing to the back of the waist, pushing the pubic bone into the floor, sending the stretch further up the spine, not dipping in and crashing in that lower lumbar. Well done. Relax the shoulders. That's it, well done. And when you finish those 3 to 6 breaths, slowly, slowly release yourself down. See if you can keep the hands where they are, although you're resting on the bridge of the nose and the forehead. Relax the back of the waist. We're going to come up again, okay, but we're going to move through Cobra to come up into that tabletop position, okay? So everything applies. The shoulders stay back, the elbows hug in. You breathe in, start to lift the head to chest. You come up with the spinal muscles and then push into the floor with the hands till you get to that point where you might be able to push your way up onto all fours. Okay, well, just notice how the lower back feels when you're here, and just let the spine find a comfortable position. Okay, we're going to work through cat pose, but our emphasis is going to be on the inhale and the dip in the spine, and we'll just gently build the lift in the spine, okay? So take a breath in. Breath out, just lift the spine to probably a very, very gentle lift in that spine. But your breath out can relax the spine down and lengthen the front body forward so you feel that back bend. As you breathe out, draw in the belly, just lift up a fraction, okay? Just using cat pose as a counter pose, but a very, very subtle lift. We're not going to our full max, and then you breathe in and lengthen, lifting that chest. Breath out, lift the spine up, maybe a fraction more, just see how you go. Feel what feels right for you, and then just allow the spine to come back into that neutral position. And we're going to bring our awareness into the arms here, okay? So I want you to drop the right elbow down towards the floor, okay? So your forearm on one side of the body is now on the floor, okay? So you're just bringing the spine into a very gentle twist. You can take your eye gaze to your left hand and just feel a very gentle twist in the spine, very subtle. And then breathe in to come back up again onto all fours. Then we'll go to the other side. So you're dropping the left elbow down onto the floor. And you're leaning into that, okay? And you're just bringing the spine into a twist. You can take the eye gaze to the opposite hand. Well done. And come up. I'm going to do that one more time either side, okay? So dropping the forearm down and then leaning in and maybe taking the eye gaze, turning the head a little bit more to the opposite side, so to the left. And coming up. And as you exhale, drop down onto that other forearm. Just let that weight spread throughout that forearm and just feel that twist in the spine. Nice, easy, gentle twist. Good. And coming up. Then we're going to come into child's pose from here. So bring the big toes together. Send the sit bones towards the heels. Slowly does it. Just lengthen the spine away. Remember, this will be your version. So if it's comfortable for you here for a moment to lengthen the arms beyond the head, stretching the spine out. But it could be that your knees don't like this compression, okay? And then you're lifting, keeping those hips up. If the forehead comes to the floor, allow the forehead to connect, then you can release the arms down by the feet if you need the support of the hands underneath the forehead. Your version of child's pose. Think about using the breath again, connect with the sound of that Ujjayi breath, that ocean breath. So see if you can hear that whispering, light baby snore, that sound of the ocean. And then when you're ready, take a breath in, lift the forehead and lift the whole of the front body up. So nice and slowly we're going to come back down onto the back body, okay? So bringing yourself round and then coming back down. Just press the feet into the floor, hip width apart. Just let the spine, back of the pelvis find its comfortable position. Draw the shoulder blades down. Arms by the side, palms face up. Feel the breath into the belly. We're going to work one last bridge pose, okay? And we can bring the hands underneath the body. I'll just demonstrate for you, okay? So you can do any of the variations that we've done throughout the class today, or it might be available to you for when you come up, okay, is to draw the arms underneath the body, clasp the hands together, and push down into the sides of the hands. And it's as if you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Please don't move the head. Even I just nearly looked to look up at you all then, but it's really important to keep the head and neck straight. Equally, working here is great because you can push the hands into the floor and that will help you lift this section towards the chin. And you're going to come down. Okay, nice and slowly. So this is your version. We're going to hold it there for 3 to 6 breaths, okay? But of course you can come down whenever you need to. All right, so I'm going to have a little look to make sure everyone that I can see is working safely, okay? So your palms turn down first of all, okay? And then you take a breath in, start to lift the hips off the floor, power down into the whole of the foot. And if you're bringing those hands underneath you, the whole of the arm stays on the floor, including the size of the hand, okay? So the hands are not in connection with the back of the body, they're in connection with the floor. Well done. So keep lifting the hips off. See if you can take that lift further up the spine, almost as if you're trying to take the lift in the spine into the thoracic spine, encouraging the chest towards the chin. Well done. Just notice if you're balancing on either inside, outside edges of the feet, really firm down. Use your buttocks and your thigh muscles. They're going to be the energizer, the muscle behind this posture for you as well. Well done, everybody. And as you exhale, when you're ready, release those hands if they're bound underneath you, slowly allowing the back of the waist to rest down. Just turn the palms face up for a moment. Big breath in all the way down into the belly, just to feel that lift in the back of the pelvis. This is a natural movement, so we're not activating this movement. We're just allowing the breath to move the pelvis and the spine. Keep the body nice and soft. And then we'll draw those feet towards each other and allow the knees to drift out. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound ankle pose one last time. Just finding that softness in the inner groins and the outer hips. Close the eyes. And then explore these 2 breath techniques that we're working with. The wave-like breath of the movement of the breath through the front body and the spine. And that Ujjayi breath, the sound of the ocean. Yeah, and on your next inhale, bring those knees back together again. And then for our final relaxation, you can either stretch the legs out one at a time in your full classical Shavasana, or if you're more comfortable, work with the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. And of course you can choose between having the knees separate or that pyramid shape by resting the inner knees together. So just exploring a comfortable position for the lower part of the body. So we're not asking anything of our physical body anymore. but we can return our focus to our breath. So we can explore that wave-like abdominal breathing, drawing the breath from the abdominal space up the front body. Or we can apply the Ujjayi breath sound of the ocean. Using the physical body and the sound of the breath to anchor our attention. And now let go of any controlled breathing that you may be practicing, and just allow your breath to flow freely. Start to send your awareness externally now by seeing if you can hear any sounds outside of your room. And then visualize yourself lying on the mat in your home. And brush your thumb pad over each fingertip and notice how this feels. Just start to exaggerate the movement through the fingers, the toes, the ankles, and when you're ready, just bring yourself over onto the side of the body that suits you. And when you're ready and in your own time, start to bring your way up to your comfortable seated position. So finishing with a nice tall spine and relaxed shoulders. And if it's right for you, bring your hands to your heart center. And just bow your head in honor of your practice today. Namaste. Thank you everybody for joining me. You're very welcome to switch the audio on if you want to, or switch off and go about your day, and I'll see you next time.